Blog Talk Radio.
Okay. Let's go, Sports City, man. You already know what time it is. The caller number is 929-477-2759. We got you locked and loaded for at least the next 90 minutes here at Sports City. Y'all could have been anywhere else in the world, but y'all are here with the chefs, man. And there's a lot of stuff to jump into. A crazy, wacky week of sports. People that know me here in Sports City, I'm extremely frustrated on what happened last night. I had high hopes to think that things would be different. Unfortunately, things have not changed in between the states of South Carolina and Florida. We will be getting into that. And, oh, yes, this is a situation where today is a, win or go home, kill or be killed, go hard or go harder. The Miami Heat and the Los Angeles Lakers will go at it today as well for Game 6 if LeBron could close the door on the Heat or if the Heat can actually push a Game 7. This would be very interesting to see. I did get some breaking news in the NFL. I actually want to save that for the latter portion of the show as we get into the picks of the day, how things will go down for Week 5 in the NFL. There's not too much other than the baseball situation which they are holding. I mean, a lot of people actually came to me and said they don't know why that they're like holding days off for baseball to have participation be done. But I guess they're trying to keep clear of anything potentially happening. So I'm fully, aware of where things are because we are in a current time of a pandemic and trying to keep everybody safe. But I'll save a lot of the trash talk, if you will, because they came here for me. So it's only right they go back around. But the Yankees fall short in the matchup up against the Tampa Bay Rays, in which I really thought that the offense that the Yankees had, and clearly I'm going to be truthful, I thought that the Rays had their number, every regular season. I thought the Yankees would be together as an offensive unit, and their pitching was decent enough to get them by, to actually get by the Rays and actually force that rematch in the ALCS with the Yankees and the Astros, in which the Astros took care of business and got into the ALCS as well. You have the Yankees losing Game 5 to the Rays 2-1, in which Garrett Cole pitched a great game. He gave up a home run. They took him out, and this is where, karma comes back around, because the interesting point about karma is you have a situation where Chapman gives up a home run to basically give up the game. It was a 1-1 game, and it happens. It's tough that, even awesome pitchers or great pitchers, however we put them in the discussion, will give up a bomb and unfortunately end up losing the series. So I can't really say I feel bad, but I understand how people would feel a certain way, thinking that the Yankees could have closed the door and had enough offense to successfully try to push for a championship, but they have to wait until next year. And I do want to, send the condolences and shout out to Whitey Ford, who passed away, one of the all-time, well, he is the all-time wins leader for Yankees history. He passed away at 91. I'll be cool, give him a moment of silence, actually. Okay, so that's one, right? So the Yankees are out. The Rays are up against the Astros. The Rays are like the quiet, unsung hero, especially being the best team in baseball, and nobody really acknowledged them with the record that they had this season. Quiet storm, if you will. Call them Mob Deep if you want. Going up against the Astros with a point to prove, and the offense that was being called out because they were getting signals when pitchers were throwing certain pitches, and they were able to, make good contact or get the ball out of the park. So this is where the Astros have their emotions on their sleeve to prove a point that they earned that championship, and you have the Rays trying to prove that they are the best team in baseball. So this is classic for the AL, and looking at the National League with what they have going on, the Dodgers have been one of the more consistent teams in the NL, at least going up against the Atlanta Braves, who are, again, are another team that were basically, I don't want to really say overlooked, but actually being talked over. You know what I'm saying? And they more or less said that a lot of teams would be more successful than them. And clearly I think that the Braves are the underdog, but have been putting together some interesting offense, to say the least, to help carry them to where they are right now. These are very interesting championship series. I do not know which way they go. If I'm picking right now, I'm gonna say the Astros. I'll go Astros ALCS because they have a point to prove, and the Dodgers, and having the rematch in that World Series to see if this could go down in the favor of Los Angeles to get back what they quote unquote said that they were robbed of and taken advantage of, which is true because the Astros did get caught up. And the Braves, I mean, it's tough because when you look at them as them being the underdog in a situation, and I've always lived in that situation where a lot of people didn't think that, you know, me being successful in whatever endeavor I was in and it happened. Like, it's kind of like you don't want to brag, but it's kind of like the karma comes back to them. So it's like I'm looking at with the storm of the Dodgers and the Braves could potentially end up knocking these guys off and actually having a frustrating situation to where the Dodgers have been playing great all season long. And also in the other championship series as well. I can't take away from what Tampa's done. And all of these teams I applaud while dealing with the pandemic and going through all of the heightened security and things that they have to follow, do a protocol, things of that nature. So if I'm picking right now at the doorstep of the championship series, I'll say Astros, Dodgers in a repeat. But I don't take anything away from Tampa because Tampa was able to upset the Yankees, even though they were the better team this season. And the Braves, I love the underdog story. So if you guys are able to pull it off, I will eat crow. But I don't know if they have enough guns to deal with the Dodgers, especially with the offense that they have. And this, to me, I think has to be one of the last seasons for Clayton Kershaw to put it together because he's had, you know, awesome season after awesome season. He's getting great contract after great contract, and he gets to the postseason, and something happens. Either a team roughs him up or the Dodgers just fall flat. This is a situation where he could get back on his feet and get things done. So this is one of the last seasons, I'll say. I won't say this is it, but I'll say he's getting close to it. So this is something that he has to watch to stay true to form. Again, like I said, NBA-wise, just to get away from baseball because we don't have too much because they had games, you know, being held off till now. So we'll see how things turn around when the championship series starts. I can have more to talk about there. In the NBA, Game 6 takes place. The Miami Heat are the home team. The Lakers are favored by 5.5. You know, everything went on in this last game where they were going back and forth at the end of the game. I can't take away from what Jimmy Butler is really able to do. And I'm going to say this here and now, Sports City. I had a discussion last night. If and I know it favors the Lakers to close this out tonight, which I really feel like it's going to end up happening. But if Jimmy Butler is able to win Game 6 with the Heat and force a Game 7 and come back from a 3-1 to knocking the favorable Lakers off, I present the situation that this is a problem for LeBron James because last year it was Kawhi that did it with Toronto, and everybody said Kawhi was the best player in the league, which proven so that he carried the Toronto Raptors in a quick season debut, got there and won a championship immediately. Well, now you look at Jimmy Butler, who just arrived in Miami and is able to carry Miami to a championship after being passed around the league, I want to say within the past 2 or 3 years, from multiple team after multiple team, they're looking like he's the issue, when in fact he's actually the X factor or the building bridge, if you will, or the contingent MVP if the Heat could come back and pull this off. But that's what I'm saying. This is more problematic to LeBron because it kind of steals the shine from him if the Heat are able to come back into the series towards the Game 7 and potentially win it. But I think the Lakers are actually going to knock this off, even though the crazy part about, LeBron and the Lakers, him and Anthony Davis, they are a powerhouse tandem. I feel like it's a lot if they force their will. I think LeBron will definitely try and put his handprint in the game, even though he always does. He's looked likely to average a triple-double with all that he does on the floor. Anthony Davis is definitely a double-double. But for some odd reason, you have guys like Duncan Robinson stepping up, Jimmy Butler, possession by possession, doing the right thing, not trying to have turnovers or taking the right shot. Even if he misses it, it's a quality shot. So the Heat have done a good job to stay up to this point. So I tip my hat to the Heat organization. And Spoelstra, I was talking about you, I want to say a couple years ago when everybody left when, it looked bleak. And I was thinking Spoelstra might end up being out of there, and he was still able to hang on without the big names. He actually got some quality names on the roster, and they were able to withstand the storm and get back to relevancy in the East and actually winning the Eastern Conference when there were a lot of teams that were spoken highly before the Miami Heat. You would say more or less Philly, Boston, or Toronto. You really didn't throw Miami into winning the Eastern Conference, and they're at this point where they can force a Game 6 and push for the faithful Game 7. So I think tonight it may end. I don't want to see basketball end. That's just the fan in me because I love hoop. But if Jimmy Butler is able to pull this off, carry this Heat team, I really think it's going to take more than Jimmy Butler. It can't be Jimmy Butler doing this. You've seen him at the end of Game 5, bent over the table, trying to get his air back while he was getting ready to shoot some free throws. It's like somebody else has to step up, but it's the finals. I can't really try to hide anybody, trying to preserve energy or trying to save face. They all got to come out there and compete and help Jimmy Butler as much as possible because LeBron and Anthony Davis are, two villain-like players, but everybody loves them, because of the names that they carry within the NBA. But I can't wait. I feel like, it's Christmas right now, still NBA final-wise, but I really want to see the Heat force a Game 7 so everybody can be at the edge of the seat. But, favorably, it does favor the Los Angeles Lakers. Okay, so I am going to get into the majority of the NCAA football situation in which the top 25 will be discussed because there's an interesting amount of stuff that I do want to touch on NFL-wise, and I feel bad on what's going on. So I'm going to get to that. Especially NFL-wise, but I'm going to get into college football right now and looking at the top 25, especially with some teams coming into play soon as the Big Ten are mulling trying to get back into things, but we have a ton here to talk about, including my frustrations in college football. So first and foremost, this hurts to start this segment of the show off. The Clemson Tigers blow out the Miami Hurricanes 42-17, in which this game was stated that it was going to be wet because the hurricane is coming from the southwest area, from the Louisiana, Mississippi range and coming through the Carolinas, coming up that way. So it was in effect in the game. It didn't really affect anybody's play other than Miami's, because Miami's offense didn't seem like they could get things going. Trevor Lawrence played all game, finishing the game with 29 passes received, attempted 41, had 292 yards passing, 3 touchdowns thrown. Travis Etienne, I don't even know who I would give the player of the game to. Etienne had 17 carries, 149 yards rushing, and 2 touchdowns. And both of these guys were effective in a lot of what they've done. Even Trevor Lawrence running the ball, they're a powerhouse. Him being so tall and being his speed at his size is incredible. I'm high on him. I can't lie. It's just that he was going up against my boys, so it's like I'm picking my boys. It's like the same thing in 2012 when LeBron and the Heat took on the Thunder. It's like I like LeBron, but I got to go with the Thunder. That's my team. No matter what, I'm not going to go with somebody I have a like for. I'm going to go with the squad that I've been following since the Sonic days, and beyond. So looking at the Miami Hurricane situation, they had a good powered offense that got shut down. I read lastly. I don't know what to say right now. I do not know what to say. There were no adjustments made. You're running Cam Harris into the teeth of a strong pro-style defense, no fullback, in shotgun form, and he's just basically watching De'Aaron King just hand him the ball and just run into an offensive line that's getting clearly overpowered. I'm frustrated that there was no switching game plan. There's no I form where there's a fullback that at least pick up a linebacker or something. The best rusher was the Eric King for the Hurricanes. He had 160-yard run, and by the fourth quarter, the total yardage for the Hurricanes was at 132. On that one play, the Eric King basically had the total, or half of the total yards for the Hurricanes. It's like, for all of the offense that they did put together in the first three games, it was slowed down against a Clemson team who's been here before and actually showing why they are at least national championship potential or favorites. However we look at it, they are the number one ranked team for a reason. ATN and Lawrence, I think both of these guys were the MVP of the game. I think they split that. Potentially still Heisman hopefuls, and I don't know who slows them down. If you look at the remainder for Clemson's schedule, it's laughable. It's laughable. I don't think there's any team on that schedule that they have remaining slows the Clemson Tigers down. I tip my hat to what Dabo Swinney was able to do, and he's consistently beating Manny Diaz. Manny Diaz has not been able to come up with a game plan since he was an assistant or coordinator or head coach. However we want to look at it, while he's been in Miami, he's been outclassed on the defensive side of the ball. They can't get things done defensively. Brett Lashley's coming here now as of last season, coming from a different university, coming to Miami, and the history between him and Venables always had the up on Lashley, and you can see it last night, the way that they creamed Miami. I'm mad that Miami looked that bad, especially the way that they performed for the first three games of the season, especially the way that they tried to come back, even though it was special teams that was getting the points on the board with a field goal and then a blocked field goal that was returned for a touchdown for Miami that ended up getting the 10 points in the first half on them to make the score 21-10. So, yeah, I'm talking about my boys. I don't like the digging in my boys, but I was frustrated. I had to talk. I had to tell y'all guys what I felt. Now, we have a basketball game that took place in the top 25. Alabama goes into Ole Miss, number 2 ranked Alabama, 63-48. This is the first time I've seen an SEC game score this high in a long time for them to have a total of 111 points put on the board, let alone this is a Nick Saban coached team to watch Ole Miss go to work on them, but they still won. I don't want to take anything away from Alabama. Alabama still won the game. They had to put up damn near 70 to win on the road, and I tip my hat, but for them to give up 48 points, I don't know if this is the strong Alabama that we're used to. They can be beaten. I'm not going to say that they can't. They're still a powerhouse of the SEC. They're still the ones to beat, and Ole Miss gave it their all and trying their best to come off with this one, but they lost by 15 at home to Alabama. Alabama's 3-0 on the season. Another SEC matchup, number 3 ranked Georgia Bulldogs up against the Tennessee Volunteers. This is interesting early. Tennessee had the lead at halftime, 21-17, in which, after halftime, the Vols did not score again. And I think that halftime speech that was given for the Georgia Bulldogs had to get them out of their seats because they ended up putting up 27 unanswered in the second half, scoring 13-14 in the respective quarters, and taking care of business up against Tennessee, winning that one in a blowout by 23. But for Tennessee to keep it interesting early, I think things have turned around for the Tennessee organization. It has. Especially in the past 3 years, Tennessee has fell into the bottom of the barrel in the SEC, and this is clearly not their standard, especially all the names that have come through that university. Upset of the day to me, the upset of the day, Texas A&M wins at home up against Florida 41-38, in which Kellen Mond was phenomenal with 338 yards passing. Interesting enough, Kyle Trask had a situation when he was young, and they named something for him because he's from Texas. Within the Texas A&M region, I'm thinking the stadium. I don't really know specifically what it was named after him, but for him to be a visiting quarterback going up against Texas A&M, that has to give you goosebumps, especially you being on the other side of the fence, and they respect you for your battle, and the school was able to pick you up and do things with you. But this was an awesome game. Texas A&M winning this game, running away with a 3-point win, 41-38. Clearly a nail biter. I was expecting Florida to win this game up against Texas A&M, and they fell short on the road. I think they are. Well, every team is strong at home, but I think the Swamp it carries more strength for that Florida Gator team, especially with Texas A&M, to finally be up to a challenge and help Jimbo Fisher pull this one off. Next up, fifth-ranked Notre Dame. The Fighting Irish win their game up against Florida State, 42-26, in which Florida State is still trying to build up their second win on the season. They do not know who they have at the quarterback position, whether Jordan Travis started, and they ended up putting in Blackman at the end of the game. I don't know which way they're going to go quarterback-wise, but they definitely have their issue that they have to address. Notre Dame won this game. The running back, Kyron Williams, finished with 185 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns received. And Tamarion Terry actually did well for the Florida State Seminoles. He actually had a big catch and touchdown, 146 yards receiving and a touchdown. Big day for him, but they came up short, losing this one by 16. As much as they are a rival to me, I have to be fair, Sports City. I have to be fair when I say this. As much as they're a rival to me, I want to see Florida State get back into, strong caliber football play. They are not looking like themselves of yesterday, and everybody's not only taking advantage of them, everybody's beating them pretty badly. And I know Mike Norvell is out there fighting the COVID-19 situation, but I want to be fair and give him like a 1 to 3 year window to get this thing turned around, because it's bad in Florida State. It's bad. As much as they're a rival to me, and I know every time they play Miami, they're going to play their strongest breed of football, but no. Everybody's beating them. They have 1 win on the season, and that was a nail-biter to, nowhere near a top 25 type team. They had to win that game, and they were actually losing to Jacksonville State in that game as well. So things have to get done immediately. The next matchup I have, North Carolina wins their game up against Virginia Tech, where obviously me looking at this game, Virginia Tech was actually cruising, taking care of business. They both were unbeaten going into this game. North Carolina being 8th ranked in the nation, they will definitely move up with the loss to Miami and Florida losing, so this will definitely bump them up in a considerable game, in a shootout, another basketball game, if I'm saying the least, 56-45. Sam Howell has proven himself, putting 3 touchdowns on the board. Michael Carter at the running back position had a 214-yard rushing day, phenomenal. But Virginia Tech, for everything that you guys have gone through for this early portion of the season, with your team fighting with the COVID-19 situation, and you guys are able to go out there and have successful outings, even though you guys lost your first game of the season. I beyond tip my hat that you guys are able to fight through this situation, but the Tar Heels win this matchup by 11 in Chapel Hill. The next matchup, Sports City, I think this is where a lot of the scrutiny lies, if you will. You have a situation where Auburn wins. Okay, let me just get this out of the way. Auburn wins the game 30-28, in which Arkansas was up 28-27, seconds on the clock, and Bo Nix tries to spike the ball. He fumbles the ball, and it drops to the ground. He picks it up, turns sideways, and spikes it sideways. People, I was around an official and a quarterback at the same time and said that is either a lateral or a fumble, because that's a pass sideways. He's not passing it forward to the ground. He's passing it sideways. It's behind the line of scrimmage. So that is a loose ball, potentially a loose ball. They actually called this an intentional grounding and actually put them in position to make the game-winning field goal, and it counted, in which that ball is supposed to be live, and that's supposed to be Arkansas's ball. Arkansas was robbed of a potential win because of Bo Nix's not whereabouts on what he was doing or where he was, when he clearly thought he was spiking the ball because of the quickness of the play and how the ball was snapped to him and his positioning. He had to turn and basically face the line and throw it at the ground to re-spike it. That was actually a pass that he did, and the refs missed that. And outside of the official I was with, he's not an NCAA official, but the officials actually, that were outside of the game, actually said that was the wrong call. So I wonder what the SEC does in the manner of Arkansas losing this game. They can't reset the situation and do this over. So Auburn sneaks by in a game-winning field goal. BYU takes on Texas San Antonio, wins their matchup 27-20, being a 15th ranked team in the nation. Sports City, this is where things get icky. The Louisiana State University Tigers lose in Baton Rouge to the Missouri Tigers. Like, it's the battle of the Tigers. And I can't believe that the, LSU Tigers lose this game. Now, it's unfortunate that LSU's had so many players go into the league and be successful, not only in the college ranks, but go into the league and be able to be impressive in their rookie seasons. But LSU coming off of a national championship win, they have not looked good coming out of the gates. And I can't take too much away from Orgeron because Orgeron is a good, awesome coach for LSU. But for them to lose this game to Missouri did not have a win on the board yet. And LSU was a heavy favorite. This would have hurt people that were in Vegas going with LSU because Missouri pulled off the unthinkable, in which Larry Roundtree III actually pulled off 119 yards rushing up against his LSU defense. I can't recall the last 100-yard rusher that put up awesome numbers up against LSU, but that's neither here nor there. LSU may put. I want to see what the committee does in the voting if they fall below 23 or out of the ranking, because they are 1-2 and lost to a team that didn't have a win yet at home. So I want to see how the committee looks at this. Another basketball. There's been a lot of basketball games in football. Oklahoma outlasts Texas 53-45 people. If you guys did not watch this game had every bit of like, wow, get your popcorn ready, edge of your seat type of football. It did not look like Texas would survive the storm, as Oklahoma was up 14 late in the fourth quarter. It was like 6 minutes left, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, Texas started, getting the ball back. They put a score. Ellinger actually scored a ball on the run, and then they get another score late in the fourth quarter to force overtime. They go into 4 overtimes, and they were going score for score. They get into the third overtime. Texas attempts a field goal and misses. Oklahoma gets the ball, gets the first down. They're basically at the 12-yard line. They set up on second down for the field goal and get the field goal blocked. Force the fourth overtime. Oklahoma actually scores and shuts down Texas to win this game by 8. Clearly a classic. I definitely can't take too much away from this, but once again, the Big 12 and no defense being played. Things that make you go, The next Big 12 matchup we have, the Iowa State Cyclones win their matchup to round out the top 25 up against Texas Tech, 31-15, in which I have to tip my hat right here. Iowa State is playing good defense. They're 3-1 out of the gate. And the big win that they had last week up against Oklahoma, too, I think this is carrying them. This may lift them higher, of course, to get them out of 24, but I think they'll be out of the 20s. I think they'll be in the teens with them winning back-to-back games and not having the old standard start of Iowa State. They come up with a big win out of nowhere and just fall asleep somewhere. So this could be a different Cyclone team, different schedule moving forward for the Cyclones. So that rounds out the top 25 for City. Again, like I said, I am furious on what happened with Miami. So that's my one thing that I'm taking away from it. I have to get over it because they still say, Ty, it's okay. They could win out and still play Clemson in the ACC championship. I'm like, yeah, but the way that offense looked and they had no game plan, the receivers couldn't get any separation, and I don't know if I'm blaming it more on the rain where these guys couldn't get separation or the running game. They didn't. The first 3 series Miami had, right, even in which one of those series they got a field goal, right? The only runner that had strong rushing yards were De'Aaron King. Cam Harris has been doing crucial work on the ground. They did not give this boy the ball, not once. So when he got the ball, it was like the defense was ready for him to get the ball because he's the workhorse. So they're ready to come for him. So I don't know. I'm pretty pissed off on the way that went down. I hope Brett Lashley takes this personal because things have to get better. I'm not trying to hear it at all. Things definitely have to get better. Okay, so I'm getting into the scores and predictions, things of that nature for the NFL Week 5, in which now this is what I wanted to talk about before I get into the games, because I'm looking at the NFL spectrum here. People, I'm speaking from my heart now. Be safe. Be safe, and not just. And the thing that about it that has slowed down is a good thing. Like we're not hearing about too many deaths, but people still are dying. But people are popping up positive everywhere. And this is me personally speaking. I'm speaking with my heart. I don't care. I'm not holding any punches. I felt like when Donald Trump contracted the COVID-19, I was like, everybody's at risk now. Everybody's going to end up getting it one way or another, somehow, some way. And we have an unfortunate situation with the Patriots. Another positive test has popped up this morning. So they are not able to play. This game has actually been pushed back to next Sunday. I'm wondering how many different games are going to have this. And actually, does this actually effectively help the Patriots, because Cam Newton will actually get back on the field going up against the Broncos team, who the Broncos are injured and missing players, so on and so forth, but the Patriots are popping up with positive tests after positive tests. And out of anybody around Massachusetts or anybody within the Patriots organization, the more outspoken individual of the situation is William Belichick, a.k.a. Bill. I'm not trying to disrespect him by calling him William. I respect the hell out of him. But now I love him with what he said. He's like, there's no way I'm going to have them have practice or come to this facility. I want them to be home and be with their families first. That means everything to him. And when I heard Bill Belichick saying that, I'm like, wow. Like this dude has a heart, especially when you hear him talk at the podium. He don't want to give you too much. He's kind of, to me, he's the Coach Popovich of the NFL, even though I feel like the tenure of what Belichick was able to do in the NFL is way longer than what Popovich was able to do in the NBA. But respectively, how they don't try to give the media too much. But this is something that they can't play with the media. This is people's lives. They get livelihood. The livelihood of them going out there and performing. Their lives and their families mean more than anything. And having a big name like Cam Newton and them popping up with another positive test, I did not get the name this morning. Clearly a tough situation. Also with the Titans, they have another a staff member popping up with another positive test. They closed the facilities again. I'm wondering what the Titans are going to do. A lot of people are actually saying that the Titans should pay a price or so on and so forth, with them popping up with positive tests left and right. I feel bad because what can people do? Like, are we supposed to walk around with those 3M smocks and try to play football or be around each other? Like, this is a new situation that we have to deal with and trying to be safe. Again, while I started this segment, that's I'm like, everybody go out there and be safe. And I feel bad this is happening, especially the sports, especially to the games that I love, especially the NBA, looking at the sport that I love heavily, and them all being in Florida, not playing with fans around. He's taking the aura away from the sport, especially somebody gets a dunk and, you know, you hear this crowd scream, or looking at football and a first down that's critical in the fourth quarter, and there's no big-time fans in the crowd screaming. But as of which, earlier this week, the Miami Dolphins have said that their stadium will be at full capacity. So with them being at full capacity in Miami, I'm wondering how many other organizations will follow suit, even though the state of Florida has lifted a lot of the bans. So, again, I want to see how this all goes down. And again, I said I want everybody to be safe out there before I actually kick into the score. Well, not the scores, but the picks and predictions and players that I think will end up showing up well. In which, before I get into a couple of the games too, well, I'll go over that when we get to that portion of the scheduling of the scores or the picks again. Let me get my things together. Okay, so while I get ready to go into the schedule, I'm missing it. So I got people at the door in Sports City. First and foremost, calling out of the state of California. I have breaking news. Brian Hughes in the building. Brian, welcome to the brunch. How are you feeling this morning?
Good morning. I'm doing great, Ty. How you doing this morning?
I am highly frustrated. I'm highly frustrated on the way things went down yesterday. I'm very mad that my boys looked terrible in Clemson, but you know, I wish there was a phone that I could call Rhett Lashley and just I wouldn't even yell at him. It's just like you have to adjust. Like you gotta adjust. Something. Oh man, you don't even know the rant that I started up with Miami. I was out of my skin. And you know me personally. I don't like to talk about my boys, but I was going off because it's like De'Aaron King being the face of that organization now, with him coming from a new school, coming there and having a Heisman type season. And not only is he trying to pass the ball, but you have him being the leading rusher, doing everything for the team, and there's no other game plan other than him just stepping back, trying to see if there's an open lane for him to take off. And none of the receivers could get any separation. Brevin Jordan got knocked out with a stinger. He said he's fine, but if you're fine, get back out there. You're going up against a national championship. There's so many different things. Listen, I'm spilling into that. We got more people, Brian, but I'll get back to you. We got James Greenwood in the building, Mr. Controversy. How are you doing this morning?
The boys are back in town, it appears. I'm doing great, man. How are you doing, Ty?
Don't ask me that question again, because if you do, I'm going to go crazy again. Don't do it again. I'm trying to reserve.
The Hurricanes have been looking horrible in football for years. I don't know why you're suddenly feeling bad about it now.
You said horrible for years. You do know 2 years ago they went undefeated. They went undefeated until they went to the conference championship and lost. You do know that, right? I hope you're just not throwing darts with a blindfold on. You can't say that to me. Stop it. You're barking up the wrong tree. You are barking up the wrong tree. Brian, I hear you trying to say something. Go ahead, Brian.
I just said shots fired.
Look, I have a Teflon chest on. I have a Teflon vest on right now. See, they come for me when they lose, but when we're winning, they leave me alone. This is. Hey, I get it. I get it. It's me. It's me. I get it. It comes with the territory. These people will come for me regardless of the situation, no matter what. Okay, so I am going to get into the Week 5 games, and I got my brothers with me, so there's going to probably be a lot of guns going off in this building. Here we go. So my first game that I have, the Carolina Panthers are going to Atlanta in the Mercedes-Benz Stadium, in which the Falcons are favored, right? Now, so I'm glad I get to start here, right? Sports City. I feel some type of way. Is this the game that Quinn gets a win? I like that. I saved it up, too. I want to say this. Does Quinn get a win up against the Panthers team who's dealing with their own issues as well, but they are 500 right now. And I did not expect the Panthers to be playing this good right now. So I want to see how the guys feel about this game. Who do they like and why? Who will be the impact player in this game? Is it Carolina on the road up against the Falcons, or do the Falcons get their first win, or do they get into the fourth quarter and blow another lead? James, I'll start with you first. Your thoughts on this matchup. Who do you like and why?
So the fact that that the Falcons are actually favored in this matchup is kind of concerning to me because they shouldn't be by any stretch of the imagination. But I'm still picking the Panthers anyway. I think that Teddy Bridgewater might be the most underrated quarterback in the league right now. And it's incredibly surprising how well they're doing without Christian McCaffrey. So both defenses are suspect. Both offenses are dealing with injury issues. So it's pretty much a mirror game. So that game should go to the home team, but I have a strong feeling about my boy Teddy, so I'm going to take the Panthers.
He said his
okay,
boy.
Brian, do you agree?
My boy.
Exactly. Yes, I'm glad that Brian is here to hear this. Look, I'm telling you, I'm picking on him.
I'm throwing in the towel on that team from Detroit. I'm waiting till the season's over to pick a new team, so I can't be front running or none of that stuff. But I'm done with them. I've thrown them away. They're in the garbage.
No problem. Wow. No problem. Wait, Brian, you hear this? This is here in the kitchen. You hear him leaving, right? He's announced he's gone. Do you hear this?
That's right.
I'm gone.
Right.
I'm gone.
Okay, no problem. Sports City. So I'll wait till the season's over to declare the team being mine. Okay, Brian, your thoughts on this game, and I'm glad that you're here to witness what we just heard. But your thoughts on this matchup, Panthers, Falcons, who do you like and why? Who's the impact player?
So this is a really interesting matchup, and I tend to agree with James. I kind of feel like Carolina's going to win this game, but here's why. If you look at the strengths and weaknesses of this teams, it's very clear that Dan Quinn feels most comfortable with Matt Ryan throwing the ball. It's very clear because every loss this year that they've suffered in the third and fourth quarters, it's because they've continued to throw the ball in the third and fourth quarter when they had large leads and they took no time off the clock. So you would really, really think that they would come out with a game plan to run the ball. And they probably will, Ty. And that's the one area of Carolina's defense that is suspect. They're not real good against the run if you look at statistically, but they're very, very good against the pass. So as crazy as this sounds, as cliche as this might be, I'm going to say Atlanta has a lead at halftime, and Carolina comes back and wins this game. And
Wow.
This may be the game, actually, that gets Dan Quinn fired. But I think it's important that we talk about the bigger thing that was said here, which is James and his boy Teddy. I didn't realize that James was such a huge Teddy Bridgewater fan, number one. And number two, James, you know, you're talking about picking a new team. You picked a new team years ago in the Las Vegas Raiders, and your team's doing pretty good.
So, I mean, I've been a fan of Teddy since the draft. I mean, you, of all people, being my co-host during that time, should know that. But no, Teddy's always had a deep spot in my heart, especially after the injury and everything. But you know, I've been a fan of his from the beginning. He was always ridiculously underrated.
And I think it's also important to say, I'm just going to throw this out there. Ty, you know this, and I know Detroit's had some down years, but you know what? As a San Francisco 49ers fan, we've had, I don't know, how many years did I have to come to the kitchen, Ty, to 4-12 seasons? I'd never abandoned my team. Never.
So here's the thing, though. Okay, so how many Super Bowls have the San Francisco 49ers had in your lifetime? How many playoff appearances have the San Francisco 49ers had in your lifetime? How many? Then make the opposition to that. So how many times has the Detroit Lions made the playoff in my conscious lifetime since I was 8, since I became a fan?
So basically,
not
what
much.
You're telling me is you're like the average sports fan, and you'll only root for winners.
No, I rooted for Barry Sanders for years. I rooted for Barry Sanders for years. Barry's not a part of the team anymore. Why am I shackling myself to the team that Barry had when Barry's not there no more? If it was still Barry Sanders, Barry was still around, you know what? Barry Sanders exemplified everything I loved in a professional athlete. He was humble. He was fantastic. The man was magic. But I'm not going to shackle myself to a professional sports franchise that doesn't care and, frankly, loves to lose just because Barry Sanders was once on their team. I'm not doing that no more. I'm not doing it no more.
If you were truly a Detroit Lions fan, though, what you're saying is you were a Barry Sanders fan.
Oh, I did not realize that until right now.
Wait, hold on, Brian. I'm glad we're on air, and this is happening now that he is denouncing himself, and at least with just me and you, at least here it is. But you got my back in any other discussion when I'm saying that this is my team. This is my team. And I've been telling you, hold on. I don't cut you off. I don't cut you off when you speak. Let me speak. I'll let you speak. So look. Listen, Brian, you've heard him say he was a Gang Green fan. You heard him say that he was a Bills fan.
Oh, wait, no. Hold on. I never said I was a New York Jets fan.
Wait, time out. I'll let you speak. Let me speak. And then all of a sudden, you popped up today, Brian, and said that he was a Raiders fan when he was all Taiwan Jones this, Taiwan Jones that. You remember this, Brian, when he was always screaming that. Now all of a sudden, it's Teddy Bridgewater. Exactly. And Teddy Bridgewater got a deep spot in his heart. Look, I only got through one game, and he put the Lions on the board. Look, that's neither here nor there, people. So I'm going to keep rolling. Oh, Sports City, we got somebody at the doorstep. We got somebody right here calling out of the metro area of the United States of America. We have Aaron Simmons in the building. Welcome to the brunch. How are you feeling this morning?
You know what? I'm fresh out of church and I stepped on air to talk about with my boys. And what am I hearing right now? The crossover cafe, James Greenwood style, or what? I'm in a crossover. You know, what in the world is going on right now? Sunday brunch right now. Jeez.
What?
Like, I've been
Serious, you never thought you'd hear the crossover cafe about the NFL, did you?
I expect that. I expect that. Here's the thing. I done seen this man put on this Detroit Lion hat, a Raider hat. He never heard of Teddy Bridgewater. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he played with the New Orleans Saints last year. He didn't say nothing about the Saints, but all of a sudden he's in Carolina and got some buzz, and now he got a soft spot for Teddy Bridgewater.
No. Okay, so wait. Hold on. I've said several times. That Teddy Bridgewater was by far and away the best backup in the league and could have started for half the teams in the NFL last year. I said that.
Oh, come on.
Okay, so I'm gonna wait. I'll let you keep spilling. I'm gonna ask you this, right? James. I want to get to your heart. So you said he's deep in your heart, right? Who do you love more, Bridgewater or Stafford?
Oh, it's tough. I love Bridgewater more. I love Teddy more.
Okay, no problem.
No. I want to be very clear. I think that Matthew Stafford is a better player. He's a better football player than Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, stop! Enough is enough.
I want Teddy to win. I want Teddy to win more than Matt. Yeah, I'm right there. I'm at that point.
This is bad.
I want Teddy to win more than that.
This is bad. Serious, what did you pray for in church? Please tell me you prayed for us here. Please tell me you did something in that church.
I did not. But yeah, I'm like a second rest of the church. I'm gonna go back in and get on the altar as soon as I get off the phone with y'all, because my man right now needs Jesus. Like,
oh my goodness, this just happened.
Hey, two
this
things
just happened with you.
I think two things that I just heard that are worth repeating. Number one, this man loves Teddy Bridgewater more than the quarterback of his own team. I've never had a favorite player that was not on my own team. I can admire a player, but I've never. I mean, when my team was 3-12, dude, I was walking.
Well, the thing is, they're not my team no more.
Because he was the only Pro Bowler on our team. I'm rocking a Pro Bowl kicker jersey because he was the only person worth the shit on our team back then. But I did want to just say one other thing. In the words of the great head coach Mike Singletary, it's clear that James wants winners. And that's
can't win with him. Can't do it.
Oh my God.
All I'm gonna say is this. All I'm gonna say is this to be moving. James Greenwood is looking like Travis Etienne looked last night. He just keeps running and running and running and running and running. It's okay. It's all right, my guy. I love you. You know, I had to get that shot in. You know what I'm saying? My man Etienne is still running on you, but I digress.
I can't take too much of him trying to do that to me right now. He has 10 seconds of silence. He will not come in here and keep trying to slander me after that damn game. It will not happen. So you are going to come back in here and act right, because you are not going to come in here and just try to do this right now, especially while Penn State ain't playing no football. Penn State ain't playing no damn football. If you come up here, you better watch your tongue. You evil son of a gun. You lucky you just got out of the church, because I'd have been cursing at you right now. You lucky. Matter of fact, I'm going to have my fun real soon, Sports City, so you just buckle up. You buckle up, Mr. Simmons, because I'm going to have my fun really soon. I hope Jessica is sitting there right next to you listening to how it's about to go down. It's about to go down right now. Sports City, I'm about to start a whole fire here in the brunch. Believe me. They coming for me this morning. They coming for him. James Greenwood leaving Detroit, and Sirius came in here talking Clemson. No problem. The next matchup we have are the Las Vegas Raiders going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. Is there anybody in this building that believes the Raiders have a shot up against the Chiefs today?
Nope.
I think that is a big – whoa.
I feel like they have a shot. I think this game, I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I'm not gonna take too much time, But I think in the fourth quarter, there's going to be a one-score game.
The spread is 11, so you're saying the Raiders cover.
Raiders cover. It's going to be a tight game. I said this earlier in the year. If you listen to our show, the free-for-all, and Norm said absolutely not against the Chargers. Anytime you play divisional foes, the Raiders have looked good this year. It's going to be a close game. I'm not counting the Raiders out on this one. James, don't give up on your second team.
I have not decided on my next team yet. I'm leaving it all on the shelf until next season. It's a special thing to do.
Happening today. Yo, people out there, please share this show. Please share this show and put this in the title of your status. James Greenwood with some phenomenal news. Like something has to be said here, so it just can't be me. It can't just be me. Okay, so Brian is the only one that thinks the Raiders at least cover. Do everybody else agree with him that the Raiders keep it under 11?
Under 11? I think 11 is a wide spread. I think they keep it under 11. Yeah, I'll give them the cover. Yeah.
James just gave him the kiss of death.
They're
about to get blown out by 4 touchdowns. See what he did? See what he's done to Detroit all these years?
I know.
Maybe by leaving, their fan base will finally get them to a place where they need to be. I doubt it because the organization's horrible. They do everything. Not everything wrong. They do some things where they get 1 or 2 players where you point them, they're like, man, I love that about NFL football. But then, you know what they do? They fuck it up again. And that's all they do.
Wow.
So I liken it like an abusive relationship. There's only so many times you can get slapped and say, "Oh, it's okay, they didn't mean it," until you get to the point where it says, "You know what? I'm going to leave this guy. I'm leaving him." And that's what I'm doing right now. They've abused me enough.
Wait, hold on. This might be
enough.
The first thing that you got to take out of that, number one, is stop getting in relationships with abusive guys. Number 2, you jumped off the bandwagon too early. I said this earlier in the year, and I'm going to stick with it. I'm the only person, but I'm going to stick with it. Detroit is going to make the playoffs this year, but I fully expect you to still pick a new team next year.
Oh, yeah. No, that's perfectly fine. I'm done.
Wait, hold on.
I'm done.
Wait,
I don't care.
Wait. Pineapples. There's a lot of crazy stuff happening. Hold on. Okay, first off, seriously, do you agree the Raiders cover the 11? And I'm gonna get to what I have to say right now.
I was going to until James picked them, and now it's gonna be a 2 touchdown.
Okay. Now back to what I was saying. Wait, Ryan. Now they're saying that. Now I understand where you're coming from, right? They're saying that the Lions have an interesting schedule going down the slate. You know what I'm saying? You still feel like they can make the playoffs? Like I want to be fair, like 8-8, 9-7. I don't think 10-6 is there.
I still think that Detroit has a chance to win the division. I said that before.
Whoa.
Green Bay's come out of the gate. They've played well, but we also know if you look at their schedule the second half, Green Bay's Achilles heel is they can't stop the run. They have to play several teams this year that are ranked in the top 10 in running. And here's the other thing. Detroit played them really tough. They should have won that game, as I'm sure the imposter fan and the real fan know. We're literally a swift catch in the end zone and a bad call from this team being 3-1. And I know you guys don't like him. I actually think this team's pretty well coached. I actually think Matt Patricia's doing a pretty good job. The defense is way behind the offense right now because you get rid of your number one corner. You got young guys up and coming, but in 3 weeks, I think the team's going to look a lot different, and I do think they have a chance of going 10-6.
So you're falling in the exact same trap I've fallen into, Brian, year after year after year. It's the buts with the Detroit Lions. It's but that Calvin Johnson catch.
I said Detroit's going to make the playoffs. How many years have I said that? Never.
I'm not sure. I
can't even think of it. I was really about to say I've never thought of that.
Ty would know that. Ty would know that.
Yeah.
You would know that. If I made a bold comment like that, you would know that. I've never, ever picked them to win the division. I've never, ever picked them to make the playoffs. Never.
So when they don't make the playoffs, when they are a top 10 pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, will you come back to Sports City and apologize to the Detroit Lions faithful? Not me. I'm not one anymore. I've given it up. But to the rest of the Detroit Lions faithful, that you have given them false hope?
Absolutely. But see,
right.
I don't make comments that I'm not confident in. So, Detroit faithful, hang in there. Don't be like James.
Don't be like me. Says Brian Hughes. Don't be like me. I'm already done.
This of course, I don't know what I did today. I don't know what I did to get this type of reaction in the building, but I didn't even get to, like, the first 3 games yet. Like, I clearly just got to the second game of the week. Okay, I'm trying to conduct the show under control, and I already started the show pissed off. So, okay, the next matchup we have, Sports City. This is an interesting one. I was going to try to clear out the building on this one, but this is an interesting matchup. The Arizona Cardinals come to New Jersey here in the tri-state area to play the New York Jets, in which the Jets get Le'Veon Bell back. I don't want to go. I can do it. No, I'm not going to do it. Cardinals or Jets?
Do it.
I'll start with you. Who do you like in the matchup and why?
I'm going with the Arizona Cardinals here. Even though Le'Veon Bell is coming back, Sam Darnold is not playing. That offensive line can't block anybody. Their defense is struggling, stopping the run, stopping the pass. I think this is a perfect get-right game for Kyler Murray, and that offense gives me Arizona big. Give me Arizona big in this one.
Brian, who do you like in this matchup, Cardinals or Jets, and why?
I think Sirius hit it right on the head, man. I think it's the Cardinals. I don't think this is that interesting of a game. I think they win by double-digit score. The biggest thing is that the Jets right now do not do anything well on defense, and you're going up against a team that have lost 2 in a row, that are pissed off, and have had time to prepare for this matchup. I honestly see this game as something close to the effect of like 37-9.
Wow, this is bloody. Okay, James, the Cardinals or your gangrene?
Okay, I'm not claiming gangrene. I've said that several times. I'm not claiming them. They're gonna be excluded from my hat pool. All right, so I'm just gonna toss them in the garbage. So all in all, yeah, I'm right there with Brian. This is gonna be a blowout, and this is going to be the swan song of Adam Gase. Adam Gase is going to be fired within the next 2 weeks, and this is going to be one of the games that does it. Arizona Cardinals are a much better team than definitely than the Jets, but than they were last year. So I'm taking the Cardinals. I'm taking them big. Whatever the spread is, I'm taking them to cover.
Okay.
Would you consider the Jets to be your new team if Teddy Bridgewater retired and became the head coach?
If Teddy Bridgewater retired and became the Jets head coach, he'd still be better than Adam Gase. That's all I have to say about that. But I would think about it. I'd think about that. But no. But right now, no.
Okay. I'm going to agree with the panel. I'm going to say this. I think the Jets covered the 7. They're getting 7. I think Le'Veon Bell may have an impact in this game coming back and actually help Frank Gore out, because Frank's been carrying a lot of the weight for the Jets, even though the Jets have not done anything too impressive to win. But I think they make a game of it. But it would be interesting to see if they do pull the trigger on Gase now. I think they're actually trying to save face and let him finish the season out, because the Jets really don't do a lot of the mid-season termination. So I think they hang on them. I think the Jets make a game of this. I think they cover the 7, but I think the Cardinals do win this game. clearly outright. Okay, so
I do have a question about that though, because I do want to inform the people of Sports City. When was the last time that Lev Bell actually had an impact on a football game? And the last I can think of is he had like 1 or 2 good games with the Jets, but the rest, outside of those 2 games in 2 years, the last time he really had an impact was when he was on the Steelers. I mean, he's not been this like super duper impact player for the New York Jets. It's because the New York Jets offensive line is terrible, and he can't do it by himself. So I don't see that. I don't see how Lev Bell coming back is really that much of an improvement, considering how bad everything else is on the Jets.
Okay. So let me keep on moving. You know what I'm saying, Sports City. Here we go. So Sirius brought his little tail up in the kitchen trying to talk junk to me, right? So Sirius went to church, right, Sports City? And I know why he went to church, because he's praying for the rest of the night, right? So we have a broken home here in the kitchen for the day. We have Jessica Simmons, Eagles fan, on one side of the Keystone State, closer to the eastern portion of the state of the Keystone State. And we have Aaron Simmons that brought his little tail in here, swinging his little shining armor with his Steelers boys, going up against the wife today. So that's why they were at church today. I hope Malik is fine. I hope they give him all of the milk, formula, cereal, everything that he needs, because his parents are going to be at war today. So I feel some type of way that this is going down Sports City. We have the Eagles in Heinz Field up against the Steelers. James, I'll let you go first. Who are you going with, Jessica or Aaron?
I'm going with your boy Sirius on this game, mostly because mostly because the Steelers are a better team overall. It doesn't matter if the Eagles were completely healthy. I would still probably take the Steelers in the game, but just adding the fact that their wide receiver core is beyond decimated. It is like so many of the Eagles wide receivers are injured or playing hurt. It's not even fair to make the comparison anymore. They are a better team than their record states when they're healthy, but they're not healthy right now. I'm still taking the Steelers.
Okay. Brian, who do you like in this one? Are you going with Jessica or are you going with Aaron?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Anytime, Jessica, that I can get an opportunity to give a pot shot to Sirius, I normally take it, but I also have to use common sense. I think the Steelers will take care of business fairly easily. I don't normally agree with James, but once in a while, just like a broken clock, he'll say something that sounds right. And you guys just got too many injuries right now in Philadelphia. I think the Steelers take care of business.
Okay. So, Mr. Simmons, I'll let you go. Tell me why your house it'll be mayhem today. Oh, he must have fell off. Okay, so he fell off. I guess they must have gotten to a fight already. So, clearly, right at the right time, he falls off here. I hope he gets back in here, Sports City. Okay, I'm going to actually go with the Steelers as well. I just wanted to pick at him and just show him how the house was broken because some odd way, I don't know how Ben did it, but Ben is back up to his old antics, and he's been getting it done. And I didn't think that they were able to put this together with, everything that they've been facing with pieces of the team missing and so on and so forth, and them missing games as well. But hopefully they got the consistency here. The Eagles are able to get their first win. It'd be interesting to see the Eagles get a second win because they are now. Oh, this is James' team, too. I forgot, Brian. This is also James' team, too. He's an Eagles guy, too. But this is also them at the top of the NFC East. You know what I'm saying? So it's funny as that sounds that they're sitting at the top of the division. If they could hang on with this type of win, this would be crucial for them to actually pull this off. But I'm going to go with the Steelers. I was going to say the Eagles. I'm going to do the same thing Brian just said. I'm not going to act crazy. But I do want to because Sirius came here talking that Clemson crap. But I do want to. Okay. So let me get away from that one because we got more to go. We have the Rams here on the East Coast up against the Washington football team. I don't like saying this any longer, Sports City. I do not like saying Washington football team. My father was a diehard Washington football team fan. I was going to say how it's supposed to be or was or whatever. So give them a name. You can call them the damn Kangaroos, something. I just don't like saying the Washington football team or they're playing Washington. Like, come on, but I heard what potentially may have happened. They said like a guy had like signed all of the copyright potential mascots that Snyder was going to pull the trigger on, so that's why they're stuck with the Washington football team. Give them the Washington Worms or something that he wouldn't even think of. I don't know. I don't know. Just it's crazy. You could have went with Braves or Warriors, something if you wanted to signify, Native Americans. You could have did that, but he choose not to. But is there anybody in the kitchen that believes that the Rams, that the Washington football team can beat the Rams? Let me say this correctly. Okay, I'm serving up a bunch of cricket soup today, so this is great. This is awesome. Great to keep on moving. I'm going to say this too also, Sports City. I've been watching this guy his whole career since college. I've been watching his career since college up until now, into the league. Aaron Donald, I'm not only a fan like you are to me, like Randy Moss status, like a monster, like a complete monster. He does it every week. He's bullying dudes that are twice his size. I mean, he's as strong as their size. That's the crazy part. He's as strong as big as the dudes that are in front of him. He is a trench monster. It don't even matter if they're double teaming him. He's able to deal with these dudes in the trenches. That he's a complete hog. He is a complete hog. I love it, man. So I want to question. I think he'll probably get like 2 or 3 sacks today. I'll say that, especially with them benching Haskins right now. They also pulled the trigger on benching Haskins within this game, so that's critical. We have another game where I may potentially serve up another bowl of cricket soup, but this is an interesting matchup, though, but it might be cricket soup. Is there anybody that believes the Bengals can go into Baltimore and knock off the Ravens, in which the Ravens are favored by 11.5? That'll be clearly it. I want to see if somebody feels that they can actually do something within this game.
I think they cover.
So you think they stay within 11.5?
Yeah.
Okay. Brian, are you going with them also?
Yeah, I after the embarrassing showing, sometimes a really, really good team, they just need to get a kick in the ass in order to figure out what they really need to do. And after that embarrassment on Monday night 2 weeks ago against Kansas City, I said last week that they would blow out and beat the spread last week against Washington. They're going to do the same this week. I actually think that they cover.
Me too. I think they cover. I think the Bengals will make this an interest. I think the over is a threat. That 50 is they'll probably end up shredding that to pieces. But I agree with you, Brian. I think the Ravens do win this one going away. I think this is a 2-touchdown type of game. Just like you said, I think that they needed that kick to turn this thing around, to try to show that they are one of the best teams in the league. And they have to keep on cruising to try to stay step for step with the Chiefs. At least don't let them get too much of a lead on home field advantage throughout the playoffs, at least if they can hang on to that. I think the next game that we have coming up, right, this is potentially one of the games of the week in my mind. I know that, like, within America, it's not the game of the week, but I'm just saying that this may potentially be an interesting matchup. We have the 1-3 Jacksonville Jaguars go into Houston up against the 0-4 Texans. Now, the Jaguars have had that game with shock value to pull off a win. Can they knock off the Texans at home, or does the firing of Bill O'Brien light this team up to win this game up against Jacksonville? Brian, I'll let you go first. How do you feel this is going to go, the Jaguars or the Texans?
I'm actually going to go with Jacksonville. I look at the game. The only position that I like the position better is in Houston is quarterback. Running back, that the young kid James Robinson, he's been running the ball phenomenally well for Jacksonville. Their offensive line has played exceptionally well. They got DJ Shark back. That's a huge, huge thing for Jacksonville. He had 2 touchdowns last week. I actually think Jacksonville right now is the better defense as well. I know they got Watt. I know they have some playmakers on that defense, Swearinger, but I think that Jacksonville is the better team, and I think Jacksonville ekes this one out.
Wow. Okay, Sports City. This is getting crucial. I like it. I like what's going on in the kitchen. Okay, so we just to let you guys know, we do have Aaron back in the building. Aaron, are you with Jessica right now?
No, she's at home with the baby.
Okay. I was about to start. I was about to set it off.
After he got her home.
Yeah. I was about to set it off in this damn building. Believe me, I was going to have it all cracking in here. I'll let you give me the reason why you guys pull it off and split the house up for the evening, and I'll give you the pick for this game also. Why do the Steelers win that game?
Right, so honestly, I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm not gonna take too much time because this game does not need much of my time. Score going to be 42-17. I think James Conner's going to run for, 17 touches for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'm sorry that he's having technical difficulty right now. There's something wrong with his phone. I hope he gets it together within the next 5 or 10 seconds, because he will not keep coming in here doing this today. Okay. Now we're going to try again. Now do this all over. Do this all over. I will let you do this all over. You do it again, you're going to have to dial the phone number again. Okay? So you try it again, somebody's going to miss one more friend. I promise you. Now, we can do this all over, or we can...
That was my pick. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, so I'm gonna let you catch up. Rams or Washington?
I think the Rams win it, but Washington keeps it close.
And that spread is 7. That's interesting. Bengals or Ravens, your division?
Bengals by a lot.
Bengals are going to beat the Ravens?
That's my fault. Ravens by a lot. I apologize. Ravens by a lot.
I was like, whoa, what's happening? I was going to say, what's happening today? Okay, and then the Jaguars and Texans. Who do you like in this matchup?
That's the one I popped in on. I like the Jags here, honestly. I really do. I think that they are going to run the football exceptionally well. The Houston Texans can't stop a cold. That secondary is one of the worst in football that's not being talked about. And you got Gardner Minshew linking up with DJ Shark and those boys, James Robinson, in my opinion, should be in the Rookie of the Year conversation. Because he's just playing exceptional ball right now. So give me the Jags.
Okay, James, you didn't go, right? James, Jaguars or Texans?
Not yet. I'm also taking the Jags. For all the reasons Brian said. The only thing that I would disagree with, I think defensive end is probably better for Houston as well. But overall, Brian's 100% right on this one. I take the Jags. They're the better team. Yeah, and the firing of Bill O'Brien does not mean much.
Okay, these guys are being real brutal right now. I'm going to be the lone soldier going with the Lone Star State. I'm going to go with the Texans to get their first win up against Jacksonville. I think that they have to be in the Texans. J.J. Watt has to be the inspiring one. J.J. Watt is the guy in Houston. Do not mess with that blonde dude at all. After he got into an argument with Bill O'Brien, they pulled the trigger on Bill O'Brien. So that has to inspire that team. That I think that he more or less lost a lot of players within that locker room, and they have to start anew. The Texans are favored by 5.5 as well. I'm going with the Texans to win this one, even though Gardner Minshew does make this an interesting game. Last year he had a good game. up against the Texans also. So I'll be the only one going with Houston to get their first win of the season up against Jacksonville. The next matchup I have are the Miami Dolphins up against the San Francisco 49ers at 4 o'clock. James, I'll let you set this one off first. With the injuries and the questions that are looming around the Niners, do they actually take care of business up against Fitzmagic, who somehow, some reason, when you count him out, he always has a decent game where a lot of people think that it doesn't go his way? Are you going Dolphins or Niners, and why?
I'm taking Niners because it's not nearly as much of a surprise for Fitzmagic to beat the 49ers because of the injuries. But I also think that the coaching situation is a lot better, way, way better in San Francisco than it is in Miami. Those two might be almost equal teams based on talent right now because of the injuries, but no, I'm still taking San Francisco to win this game. Yeah.
Okay, Sirius, who do you like in this matchup? Are you going Dolphins or Niners, and why?
I'm going with the 49ers in this matchup. I don't even think they make it close. I mean, they're getting Jimmy Garoppolo back. Some pieces that have been out due to injury are starting to make their way back. And again, George Kittle is as good as advertised. I expect him to have about 17 touches for 149 yards and 2 touchdowns.
All right, Sports City, I want y'all to know that Sirius will probably be done for the day if he proves that one more time. Okay? I just want you guys to know that I'm trying. I'm trying. This is not good for me. You know, I'm the way that my bank account is set up, you know, I got to transfer from my savings to my checking, and I'm not trying to have him there with me right now where I'm having these type of issues today. I'm not, okay? Just because Penn State is not playing, and just because the Yankees just blew it, okay? The Yankees blew it. Let me do that, okay? I can do that too. See, so I don't do this. I leave people alone. Okay. Now, Brian, I know. Oh, don't let me start picking on him. I could do it. You know what I'm saying? I could talk about him and his team trying to get rid of Westbrook when he was saying he wasn't going to say Russ' name. I could do all of that, Sportsy. I could do all of that, but I don't do this. I try to leave him alone. But you know what? They come to me. Excuse me. I'll let you talk. Excuse me, sir. I'll let you talk. Do not do this anymore. You've already went past the borderline with me. Okay, so you.
I don't understand what that has to do with the stats at hand, sir. I don't understand what that has to do. All I said was that's what I thought that George Kittle was going to get today. That's all I said. That's it.
Sports City, if he keeps this up, you're going to hear the last of the series today. Do you hear me? If he keeps this little attitude up, you're going to hear the last of him. Okay, Brian, I need your prediction on your boys. How do they pull this one off? Actually, let me make it even more interesting. Do they cover the 8 points? The Niners are giving Dolphins 8 points in California.
Believe it or not, this would be the one game if I was a bettor that I wouldn't touch because I know James hit on a little bit, but he didn't fully commit to it. I am scared of Ryan Fitzpatrick because the beard magic is definitely real. He may only have 3 or 4 good games a year, but at the same time, I don't want one of those phenomenal games to be against the Niners. They are starting to get healthier. Yes, they've got Garoppolo back. Yes, they got Kittle. They've got Debo back. They've got Brandon Ayuk. So offensively, they're better at the skill position, but we are so beat up on the defensive side that I could definitely see Miami keeping this game close. I'm scared to death, Ty, but they are my boys, and even if they were 0-4, I'm still going to say Niners are going to win and cover. Keep in mind it is on the West Coast.
So you're not jumping ship even if they were 0-4?
I think you already know that, Sirius, after all the down years the Niners had. And by the way, just in case anybody was wondering, unfortunately, the Niners bandwagon is full, so we're no longer accepting applications.
Okay, I got you.
Here's the thing. I love that. I love to hear Mr. Breaking News Brian Hughes talk about all, quote unquote, all the bad years the Niners have. He has never touched a Detroit Lions season ever.
You crazy? They had the choice. They had the choice. Wait. They had the Troy Smith years. Wait, time out. They had the Troy Smith years when Troy Smith was running that. Don't forget, he came to you with the Mike Singletary speech. I want winners. That was some bad years right there. That Mike Singletary wasn't getting no 8-8, 9-7, 10-6 season.
Like I said, it was so bad.
Did San Francisco ever go 0-16? Have they ever had a 15-year playoff drought?
Okay.
Pretty close. 2003 to 2017.
So that's 9 years. That's pretty close if you're not counting in years. Yeah.
Things great, but 2003 to 2017 is not 9 years.
No, they made the playoffs within that. From 2003 to 2012, they made the Super Bowl, right, with Kaepernick.
I thought that was 14.
No, right?
The point is that the Niners have had plenty of down years. You go back and look at the drafts the last 10 years, we picked in the top 5, and there's been plenty of years that we picked ahead of Detroit. So
sure,
I understand.
Let me retort. How many times have the San Francisco 49ers been to or won a Super Bowl in your lifetime?
Quite a few, but they were back in the 80s.
Quite a few. How many times have the Detroit Lions been to or participated in a Super Bowl, not even in my lifetime, in their entire history?
Not many, but you know what? I could ask
once,
the same
and it's not even a Super Bowl.
You know what? They would never give up their team.
Right.
I'm sure. There's a lot of people that are dumb enough to stick with the Lions through thick and thin, but I'm not that guy anymore.
Question is this, though, nobody held gun to your head and said, James Greenwood, you have to be a Detroit Lions fan. This is something that you chose. I chose it for Barry, though. I chose it for Barry. Barry Sanders was everything that I wanted to see in a professional athlete. You let LeBron James fans be like, yo, I like Barry, but I don't have a team. But you actually came on air, put on social media.
I'm fine with that. I'm cool with being a LeBron James fan. I'm cool with being a LeBron James fan. Being a LeBron James fan means, hey, I get to follow LeBron where he gets to go.
Hey, listen, I'm with James on that one. It's cool to be a LeBron James fan. You are not allowed to rep a new squad here in Sport City. You are not allowed that.
All right, that's fine. I won't rep a squad. I will rep players. Like, I'm a Teddy Bridgewater fan.
You are a Detroit Lion, Las Vegas, New York Jet fan to us here in Sport City.
Okay, so
Philly. Don't forget Philly.
I never claimed the Jets. I never claimed the Jets.
Listen,
don't forget Philly.
Ever. Listen, don't forget Philly and don't forget the Bills. Don't forget Philly and don't forget the Bills.
At least the Bills are my dad's team. At least I can be like, you know what? I can take the Bills. The Bills are my dad's team. I will hope that he has a happy day.
Mr. James, you know who my dad's team was? God rest his soul.
I hope you ain't, accepting your son's bandwagon fanship, sir. You deserve better. Don't do that. Don't do that.
No, I like I said, I'm not choosing anything until after the season. After the season, I'm going to find out which team has the most players that I liked during draft time, and that's it.
You might as well just be a Carolina Panthers fan. I'm just saying, you close.
I'm pretty close.
Right,
I'm pretty close.
Right.
Not gonna. I really like Starlolo Tuele too. I mean.
Yeah, I think it's just important to point out here real quick, James, we've been giving you guff and you taking it like a champ, but my dad's favorite team was actually the New York Giants. And one of the things the reason why I became a Niners fan was I really liked watching my team kick my dad's team's ass.
Well, see, this is what's going on in the kitchen right now. If you don't know, now you know. So the next matchup we have 4 o'clock, right? The Colts and the Browns. Now, this is a very interesting game. The Browns are favored by 1. To me, I virtually look at this as a pick-em, right? Somehow, some damn way, that big wheels keep on turning. Rivers has actually made this an interesting season for the Colts. The Colts are 3-1. The Browns are 3-1. especially with the game that they just pulled off last week on beating up on the Cowboys. As much as I want to save face and say the Cowboys put up 38 points, and every Cowboy fan that I know out here, especially all of my cousins that are diehard Cowboys fans and all of the how about them boys that they try to scream until they start losing and you don't hear them. Dak putting up 450 yards. You don't say nothing about that time on your show. He putting up 500 yards, and he probably the best passer in the league. Yo, dog, y'all still losing. But I still hear it. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I get it because stat-wise, Dak is a monster right now. But how all of a sudden they just stopped giving Zeke the ball? How all of a sudden, like, they don't have a defense? How all of a sudden that the Dallas Cowboys defense is number 32 in the league? They are the worst defense in the league. But I'm not even going there because that's not even the team that I'm talking about. We're going to the Colts and the Browns. Let me go around the kitchen, Brian. I'll let you go off with this one first. Is it Rivers or is it Mayfield? Who pulls this one off? They are in Cleveland on this one also.
Well, I actually, you know what? I want to throw out a couple stats to you guys because I think this is important. This also may help James make his decision next year. So the Cleveland Browns, for the first time since 2011, now think about this for a minute. For the first time since 2011, at any point in their history during that time frame, this is the first time they've been over 500 as of last week. When they were 2-1, they're now 3-1. They're feeling really good. That is the first time that this team in almost 10 years has been over 500. And you see the Dogtown rocking. But I just want to throw that out there. As far as this game is concerned, Ty, I know you've heard me say it before. I'll say it again. I think Phillip Rivers was underappreciated for everything that he did in San Diego. I said that when he came to Indianapolis that they would be the team from that division. They would win that division outright, and they would be a Super Bowl contender. And to me, this is that type of game. If you're going to be a good team, you have to beat good teams. And, yes, Cleveland is a good team right now. Cleveland's defense has been very good, but you look at the amount of weapons that Indianapolis has. You look at the Jonathan Taylor, the way he's been running the ball. No drop-off whatsoever with Mack out. If anything, maybe an uptick. They're loaded on the offensive line. I personally think best offensive line in football. They've got an outstanding young middle linebacker. They've got stars at every level of the game. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that who Cleveland has played to this point has not been okay, but I don't know if they've faced a defense as good or as tenacious as the Colts defense. The Colts defense is definitely underrated. And the same way we talk about Ryan Fitzmagic, I kind of feel like that way about Baker Mayfield. I kind of feel like he's due for a hiccup game. I think the Colts win, and I think the Colts win by double digits.
Wow. Okay. Here we go. Sirius, who do you like in this matchup, Colts or Browns, and why?
Honestly, I echo everything that breaking news you said about the Indianapolis Colts. But honestly, case could be same made for the flip side of football. I mean, yes, Nick Chubb is not there, but you plug in Kareem Hunt, and that offensive line and that running game still is going to be able to open holes. If you look at the outside, you still have to deal with the talents and skill set of an Odell Beckham Jr. and a Jarvis Landry. I want to pick Indianapolis just because Cleveland's in my division. But, even I, the Steelers fan, have to take a good look at what's going on. There's something significantly different about this Cleveland Browns team. Baker Mayfield isn't making the jarring turnovers that he's made before. And that could be the reason, the running game is what it is. And this is not a slouch against Indianapolis' run defense, which is in the top 10. But I got the Cleveland Browns finding a way to win this ball game 20-20.
Okay. James, who do you like, Colts or Browns in this game?
I like the Colts because they're a better football team. It's just as simple as that. Brian Brian said something very true, in that the Indianapolis Colts defense is probably one of the most underrated defenses in the entirety of the NFL. Just from top to bottom, there's no major, huge, big stars on the Colts defense, but what they do have is a consistency throughout. They have very few weaknesses where you look and say, hey, this is where they are going to be exploited. That's not something you see from the Indianapolis Colts defense. The only reason why the Browns are favored at all in Vegas is because Vegas gives 3 points for home team advantage. But that doesn't really matter when you're talking about a stadium that's like 25% full at best. So I am going to take the Colts to win, and I'm not going to go double digits. That, I think, is a bridge too far. But I think they win by a score or a field goal.
James, how many players on the Colts do you like?
Did anybody notice that bridge?
How many players on the Colts do I like? I like Taylor. I love Nelson. Nelson was probably the best player in that particular draft class. I do like a few players in the defense. I did not like them at draft time, but they have proven themselves to be much better players than I expected them to be.
You know you love Leonard, the middle linebacker. All I'm saying is Indianapolis Colts fans, watch out.
I'm gonna select. I'm going with the Browns in this game. I don't know where this Colts team pulls it off on grass. They're a high-powered team on that turf. I don't know if they go in there and get to a hot Browns team that is now believing, and hopefully slowly they start to change the narrative for Baker Mayfield. Slowly. Some odd reason they're able to put these wins together, but they got Odell believing in the system. You don't hear any more trade talk of Odell going anywhere. So the Browns are slowly putting it together, and I think that they are in that conversation with the Steelers and the Ravens in that AFC North division. So I'm going with the Browns.
James could be a Colts fan. I mean, that blue, is almost resembling to the Honolulu blue he just left. I mean, I'm just saying.
Well, if that's the case, call him Eric Ebron. So that you could call him Eric Ebron. Oh wait, Ebron's in Pittsburgh now.
I can't with Eric Ebron.
Yeah.
He's not even on the Colts anymore. He's not even on the Colts anymore.
Serious deals with Eric Ebron. So look, y'all can talk about all of y'all similarities with Eric Ebron. Okay, the next. So you better tell Jessica that. We'll see. Okay, so the next matchup we have, right, and here goes another one, Sports City. Here goes another bad record game, but could have potential of being the game of the day. In Sports City, I'm going to go first, right? The Giants and the Cowboys are battling for the division lead. If the Giants win, they probably could potentially be tied up to be in the division lead in the NFC East. And I don't know if the Giants pull this off, but I think they cover. The spread is 7.5. I feel the Giants will stay within that one-possession game. I think the Cowboys will win this one probably by a field goal, but the popcorn will be ready. This will be a good game. Just like I said, the Cowboys have the 32nd ranked defense in the league. They're the worst. They're the worst. I don't know if it is Mike McCarthy, because this was the same stuff he was doing in Green Bay. Is there anybody in the kitchen that believes the Giants can knock off the Cowboys in Arlington, Texas?
Wouldn't shock me if they did.
No, but there's one thing I do want to mention since I'm here. Not only do the Cowboys have the worst defense in the NFL, there's a reason why they have the worst defense in the NFL. It's because they don't spend any money on their defense. They've spent like 75-80% of their entire salary cap on the offensive side of the ball, and they've completely ignored the defense as far as spending goes. So there's a reason why they are the worst, and that's why. They're not spending any money on the defense. They're not spending draft capital on the defense. They are putting everything to surround Dak with the best things possible. So whenever any of your cousins or friends or whatever talk about how great Dak is, it's because they've spent almost all of their salary cap surrounding Dak with talent.
So, who you picking, sir?
Oh, I'm picking the Cowboys because the Giants are hot garbage. But at the end of the day, people who love Dak so much, it's because of his fantasy football scores, not because of how good he's on the football team.
That's also true, but the Giants have been in every game except the Niner game. The Niners are the only team that blew them out. The Niners basically gutted them and took them out of that game, but every game has basically been coming down to the end of the game. They almost won in Chicago. Chicago just lost to Tampa Bay. The Giants still have pieces there, but when they got Saquon hurt, I was pissed because I did not want to see them waste the talent like that, and I knew it was going to happen. I knew it was going to happen, that they were going to get this guy burnt. And it ended up not only getting him burned, he's injured and out for the season, and he's a workout horse. He's going to work himself out to get back in the game shape, and he's going to be stuck with the same reality. Believe me, that burns me. But, again, I feel the Giants can stay within 7.5, but I think the Cowboys do win this game. The clear-cut game of the night.
Here's the deal.
Go ahead, Sirius.
I said I think the Giants win this ball game. And here's the thing. The Dallas Cowboys defense is as bad, which means the Giants are going to be able to move the football better and more consistently than they have in weeks prior. Do not be shocked if the Giants win this one by a field goal. Do not be shocked.
Wow. I will be texting you if that goes down. If that goes down, you will be hearing from me. But you probably will be in a fist fight anyway. So we'll see. No domestic violence, people. I'm not condoning that, people. Don't think I'm condoning domestic violence. Okay. The next matchup I have is potentially a game of the day, but the record don't show it. The Minnesota Vikings getting their first win of the season up against the Seattle Seahawks, in which Seattle favored by 6.5 at home. But the Vikings have speed all in that offense. I think this is a clear-cut Kirk Cousins show or no-show type of game. If he can show up in this game, then this could be a game. If not, Russ is going to go absolutely crazy. Is there anybody that believes the Vikings could get it done in the state of Washington up against the hot and MVP potential Russell Wilson?
I do,
nope.
Ty.
Whoa. The Vikings pull it off, or do they cover? What are you giving me here?
Can you hear me?
Brian, are you still there? I don't know if he's having technical difficulty, but okay. So I guess Brian is going with the Vikings. If I'm hearing that correctly.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Vikings.
Wow.
How you know I picked them to win this division. Like I said earlier, I think defenses are lagging a little bit behind. But here's the thing. Russell Wilson should have won the MVP last year, no disrespect to Lamar. But Russell Wilson is that player, right? When you think of most valuable player, you take Russell Wilson off the Seattle team, they're literally like a 6-win team. They're a 6-win team.
Right.
They are not very good. Their defensive line is horrible. Their linebackers are old and slow. I'm just keeping it real. What Minnesota needs to do in this game is simple. Kirk Cousins needs to not try to do too much, and they need to run the ball because Seattle is not good at stopping the run. There's been multiple times this year, take, for example, the Atlanta game, where teams have been able to run the ball on them and have success. Yes, Russell Wilson is going to score his points, but I think that this is totally a game. Keep in mind, I said earlier, there is no such thing as a home game or an away game. Like this, the 12th man is not going to be a factor in this game. So Minnesota is the better team top to bottom. If they run the ball like I believe they can, I think people will be shocked to see that at the end of the day, Minnesota gets the W. And by the way, let me just say, take the over in the Cowboys-Giants game since you didn't ask me, and take the over on Dak Prescott. I think he throws for over 312 yards.
I'm sorry. Stop me. You got to stop me when I'm going off. Stop me. You got to stop me. What? Oh, I feel bad now. But I'm shocked that you're pulling for the Vikings to get this done up against Russ. Are you wait? Are you saying the Vikings knocking off the Seahawks because the Seahawks are in your division?
And anytime I can take a jab punch to the kidney on the Seahawks, I'll do it. But I legitimately
there you go. There you go. I know how to get it out of them.
Seattle. Yeah, but anytime I think that Seattle has a legitimate chance of losing, I'm going to look at that. And like I said, I think legitly that Minnesota will win this game.
I don't know, Sports City. I'm going to have to talk to him off air. I think that he's doing this because of the red and gold, if you will. But hey, anybody else want to go with Brian? Serious or James? Anybody else?
What's the spread?
The spread is 6.5. I'm sorry, 6.5.
Nope.
Okay, fair enough. So Sirius remains quiet. I'm wondering if Jessica is duct taping him right now. Okay, so the next one we have is a Monday night matchup. Chargers and Saints. This is what, the Vikings and Seahawks?
No, give me Seattle.
Okay. The Monday night matchup, Chargers Saints. Very interesting matchup. This is the old Drew Brees team up against where he is now. And they just stated that Justin Herbert will be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season. This is very interesting, and I wish Detroit would have picked him. I wanted him so bad, but he's making a name for himself in Los Angeles in that new stadium. But they are in the Superdome. Does the rookie get it up against the Saints? Does anybody believe the Chargers can go into that dome with the rookie and knocking off Drew Brees on a Monday night?
I'm just very disappointed that you really want Justin Herbert.
He's better than Bridgewater.
Sir.
Oh, that's not even close to being true. That's not even close to being true. But you can believe that, though, Ty. You can believe that.
These matters at this moment. You can't comment on Detroit Lions matters at this point, sir.
Thank you.
I can comment on them as a commentator. I'm just not a fan. Otherwise, you can't comment on any team that's not the Steelers. It's just foolhardy.
Those are fan privileges. You can't announce your fanism on air and then in the next segment talk about you. I'm sorry, you wanted him. Those are fan privileges.
Right.
And right now,
fair enough. All right. So I will say as a draft analyst that Teddy Bridgewater is a better prospect than Justin Herbert.
No, wait, no. What you came at me with was the when I said that I wanted Detroit to go get him because clearly Stafford is about to be done there. So you save all of that. Sirius had you to say fair enough. You know what? Sirius just worked his way back onto my good side. I hope he remains there. But James, you have some work to do. Just because you're picking out of my food. Get out of my dishes. You gotta eat. Anyway, back to where I was. Anybody believe the Chargers can get this done up against the Saints in the Dome?
Nope.
Nobody. And the Saints are favored by 7.5, and that's interesting, Vegas. You guys are up to something. I think the Saints win, but the Chargers cover. They're up to something. Unless Joey Bosa and his defense wake up somehow and get the breeze, this will be interesting, but I don't know. But I think the Saints win, but the Chargers may cover. Vegas looking dirty. Again, one of the games that was supposed to be taking place on Monday night, it still has me at the edge of my seat saying this to everybody in the world. Please stay safe as the Broncos and Patriots game has been postponed and pushed till next Sunday. So we'll see how that goes down. I feel real bad on what's going on, at least with the Patriots organization, that not only was it Cam Newton, but there's other people popping up, including earlier today that there was another positive test. The last game of the week, which is taking place Tuesday because of the issues that they've been facing within the organization, the Bills are playing the Tennessee Titans in Tennessee, and both of these teams are undefeated. How do you guys feel about this game and why? I'll start with you first, Brian. Who do you like in this matchup?
The Buffalo Bills in this one. I see this game playing out to a 42-17 type game. I could see Singletary having somewhere around 17 carries for 149 yards. I could definitely see Buffalo taking this one.
Are these dudes really trying to start with me today? This is really happening today. Okay, James, who do you like in this one? Your Bills? Say that again?
So I was just giving you some stats, you know what I mean, to go along with the reason why I thought they might win. Just for the fans.
And you're over there smiling, and you're over there smiling, and you're over there smiling like his first. And you're over there smiling like his first grade picture day.
Listen, the running back Singletary for the Bills. You know, I'm not sold on this Tennessee defense. They're taking a couple of weeks off. I think he's going to have about 17 carries for 149 yards, couple touchdowns. The other thing is, I could definitely see Tennessee's quarterback falling apart and throwing a couple picks.
Okay, and just to stick it to you, since you want to be okay, so you want to be funny. Okay, well, everybody thinks that they're funny. You guys are funny. I just got a text from Norm Arendis. I guess Brian knows him pretty well. I just got a text from Norm Arendis right now. He says the Eagles will beat the Steelers, the Colts will beat the Browns, and his upset special is the Miami Dolphins beat the Niners. How about those apples? Anyway, so let me keep on moving. James, who do you like in this matchup, your Bills or the Titans, and why?
I'm taking the Bills. I mean, this would be a lot closer matchup if it wasn't for the positive COVID-19 tests, which are going to hold quite a few players out of the game. And if it gets to the point where they are to postpone the game again, the NFL has already said that they are going to make the Titans forfeit their game based off of the things that they found during some sort of investigation or whatever. So the Bills are going to win. It doesn't matter if the Titans come in shorthanded or if the NFL just strips them of the win to begin with. But the Bills are going to win anyway. So I'm taking the Bills to win. I think 159 yards is a bit much for Devin Singletary. That's just me. I don't think he breaks 100, but at the end of the day, I'm taking the Bills to win.
Okay, Sears, who do you like in this matchup? The Bills or Tennessee, and why?
Yo, I think the Buffalo Bills win this ball game 42-17.
All right, that's the end of the day for Sears. He's had one too many unnecessary roughnesses or unsportsmanlike conduct in the building, and it's influencing others. And Brian is doing this with a smile on his damn face. I'm not going to deal with these two any longer. The fact that I have to pick this last game that they want to act funny right now is something else. These are critical people. These are people that consider me family. This is bad. This is bad, people. This is bad. If I'm hurting, they're the first ones to call me and make sure that I'm okay. But then if I'm all right, they ready to just start throwing shots and putting all type of stuff out there. It's okay. I already got Norm on my back telling me that, you know, the Miami Dolphins going to knock off the Niners, so I love that. And he picked Philly to win up against the Steelers, so I'm loving that. You know what I'm saying? I got support in the kitchen. I don't need them to hold me down. So this is a very interesting matchup with the Bills and the Titans because, as you guys know, I am a big Derrick Henry fan. And I don't know if he gets knocked off by this Bills team at home, man, especially with everything going on in Tennessee around this facility. I think the Titans pull this off. I think the Titans get this win and give the Bills their first loss on the season. They definitely have not played any football. They have to catch up with what's been going on. And I'm going with Tennessee. I'm going against the grain up against everybody here in the building. Okay, so that's the end of the scores, picks, and predictions for Week 5 here in the building. Again, Sports City, I want everybody to remain safe. I'm just mad that this is happening to a lot of teams, especially the Patriots on back-to-back weeks. And I don't even feel like I'm rooting for the Patriots, but I feel bad that one Cam Newton being a big name, and they had another name pop up today that it wasn't listed for me. I don't know who it was, but it's just sad that this has been stopping the progress of games this season. Okay, I need plugs and closeouts, anything that you guys would like to promote as we exit the building here on the brunch. I'll start with you first, James. Thank you for stopping by the brunch. And we have history in Sports City, people. There's nothing more like it on 10, 11, 20.
So shout out to Ray McLeod with 6 receptions for 100 yards, 16.7 average, and the Clemson's 38-3 victory against the Miami Hurricanes. It was an impressive performance. Shout out to him. See you guys next week.
See, and this is the funny part, Sports City. This is the dude trying to give me something, and this is the dude that does not watch college football and is doing. And look at this. This Sports City. I tell you, they try, man. They try so hard. Let me keep on moving because believe me, I could talk about him switching up teams right now. I could do everything right now to this guy. This dude has switched up everything, and the whole kitchen came at him today. So I don't even have to do any damage to you, James. I didn't even give up my fanhood. See, like I said, some people can choose to be down with the Lions. I have to be down with them. See, there's a difference. I ain't leave because Barry left, and you giving us a reason why you can leave because Barry left. Get out. Stop. All right, I'm going to go. I'm going to keep it going. Serious, give me a plug, close out, shout out, anything that you like to promote, and please stay safe. If you need to wear catcher's mitt or catcher's vest, whatever you need to do, please.
Yo, we're watching the game in the same spot right now. Like, I'm about to go to the sports bar. She's watching it at the crib. I'm not even going to be at the crib with the wife. You know, my marriage and my love for my wife is too fragile and too precious because I will break a TV. I will slam my child into a wall, and if my wife says something,
no, you will not.
You know what? It's not going to be good for me and the wife. So we decided to just watch the game in separate places, just for the sanctity of our marriage. So with that being said, man, it's a pleasure to be here with you guys on today, man. We look forward to this every 4 years, man. Last time the Eagles got us, I broke a TV. Like, no, I literally smashed a 70-inch TV. I was that heated. So, with that being said, man, it's a pleasure, man. Listen, I'm glad to hear T.P. Thomas in the building. You know, my man had me a little worried last night, so I'm glad he's in good spirits. James Greenwood, man, I swear, you never fail to amaze me. You know, keep doing what you do. It gives me laughs. I applaud that breaking news Tuesday. Long run, I'll catch up with you Tuesday if I get the times right. Man, definitely, it's fun doing this, man. Y'all be safe, man. I'll let you guys later.
Yo, you want to know the bad part about Spirit's situation? I wonder if he come home and Jessica got Malik dressed in Philly gear. That would be amazing. I don't even know if he was a
I'm in Connecticut. I'm jumping in my vehicle and driving to Connecticut. I will see you in 4 hours. I'm not.
That's a big green. Put him in that green.
I can't do it.
All that Kelly Green, Justin. All that Kelly Green.
Look, yeah, put him in green. And I want the first letters for Malik to spell is EAGLES. If he say that, I will love it.
Which I don't know is we actually have a bet going on right now. So I'm gonna let you in on the marriage bet, right? So the Eagles and the Steelers both got like fight theme songs or whatever, right? So the loser has to dress up in the other team's apparel and sing their fight song, and it's going to be posted on Facebook.
Ooh,
okay, so now I'm like I'm legitimately rooting for the Eagles to win right now because that would be just amazing to watch.
No, too late because you already said you're going to go with your boy Sirius. That's what you did. You went with your boy Sirius. You already switching up teams with Sirius. You switched up teams with the Lions. You are so indecisive today. I don't know what to do with Detroit City.
I'm not switching up. There's a prediction. The prediction is that the Steelers are going to win, but I really want the Eagles to win.
You can't justify you switching up. You're switching up like crazy. I don't even know what to do any longer. This is what's happening. That's horrible.
It is what it is.
Okay.
It is what it is.
Brian, I need you to give me your plug, closeout, shout out if we shut down the doors here in the kitchen.
Well, Ty, as you know, man, it's always a pleasure to get together with the chefs here in the kitchen and dice up some sports topics. James, I appreciate you being a good sport and taking your lickings. I hear that there's applications currently available on the Patriots bandwagon if you would like to go in that direction. They have an opening, I hear, at quarterback as well. But I just wanted to say, just wanted to say how much I appreciate talking with you boys. For those of you who are listening, I hope you enjoy the content as well. You can always check out our website at www.sportscitychefs.com. Get in touch with Ty if there's certain things you'd like to hear. We'd love to provide it to you. I'll be back on air on Tuesday on the NFL Free For All, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm out.
Okay, and now that I got the time right there, because I keep missing it, so it's officially at 8 p.m., and he already gave me the damn closeout. I don't really got to say too much. I love that my boys came in here, even though even James talking Clemson crap. Like, I don't even know what I be doing to people. Like, James came in here swinging. Okay, so he left Detroit. He came in here talking Clemson, and he switched up talking about he was going with your boy series and then went back to Philly. I don't know what the hell is going on, Sports City. But on that note, since Brian already gave y'all the closeout, tell a friend that it's the Chefs again. And if they don't know,